Hey everyone, Professor Akali here bringing you a video on when you should split push versus when you should fight. This video might be a bit opinionated rather than factual, but I will go over what I believe to be the most effective in regards to this topic. Right away, let's talk about who should never split push. Support should never split push. They are only useful to their team, for their wards, and for their ability to help in team fights. Also, as a general rule, AD carries should not be split pushing in the late game. They are too valuable in team fights, especially when the enemy team has tanky champions that no one else can kill. However, I will say that there are a few situations that will arise in which AD carries will have a great opportunity to grab objectives split pushing, so just use your best judgment. So that leaves solo laners and junglers. For these roles in solo queue, when should you split push and when should you group? The most important factor you need to look at is, can you win a team fight? Whether the enemy team is farther ahead and you are unlikely to win a fight, or your team has just shown they are way too incompetent and can't teamfight properly, I would look into split pushing. If you have a wombo combo AoE teamfight comp with a Malphite Orianna, I'd highly recommend grouping up to fight. The thing about solo queue, even in Diamond, but especially in lower ranks below it, is that it is such a giant, uncoordinated clown fiesta. If your team is around Baron at 25 to 30 minutes in and the enemy team responds by sending their entire team Baron, and you are bot lane killing the inner turret, the enemy team will feel extremely pressured to respond immediately, and more often than not will make terrible mistakes that will cost them greatly. For example, say you are bot lane taking an inner tower at 25 minutes while the other 9 players in the game are dancing around Baron. The enemy team can't do anything about it. Best case scenario is you take the bot tower and the enemy recall to stop you from taking anything further, but a ton of the time the enemy team will force an idiotic Baron play at 25 minutes, get themselves wiped because Baron's insane damage early on, and your team will take Baron themselves. Meanwhile, you're just bot lane taking multiple towers and an inhib while the whole thing goes down. The sole reason this works is because standard solo queue teams lack synergy and leadership. You pressure them into a fast-paced, high-pressure situation where every single player has to make a quick decision as to what they're going to be doing in the next minute, and more likely than not, the enemy team won't be on the same page.